Hey, so today's the beginning of sort of a great adventure for my Glock 21 MA. It's a second generation Glock 21. I've had described in some videos before. It's an old warhorse. I got thousands of rounds through this thing. I've shot everything you can feed through it. The only criteria for what I fed through it was really how cheap it was. Buy the cheapest boxes of ammo and shoot them off. I don't reload, so just go ahead and buy cheap ammo and shoot it. And in all honesty, over the years I've had it, the amount of rounds I put through this thing, it's never hiccuped or failed to fire, failed to feed once, and that's included after having the magazines dropped in sand, all kinds of shit. When you shoot some IDPA courses, it's highly reliable. I think we all know that. So why do I want to send it back? Well, I think the issue really is the deal that Glock has and the program that they have, and I think for a second generation gun that's getting a little bit old, there's nothing wrong with it. It really now gets to the point where a good factory lookover is not a bad idea. And what do you get for a factory lookover? Well, Glock will take it, inspect the frame, inspect the slide, all the working parts in it, of course, the barrel, etc. And my understanding is for free they'll change all the springs, all the parts that show wear that are now out of spec, and I believe they'll replace the barrel if it shows any signs of wear. And I understand for shipping, that can basically is for the cost of shipping, and for shipping plus I believe it's $66, you can basically get your slide refinished. The refinishing is just the black stuff. The tenifer is actually in the metal. It's a nitriding process. That tenifer finish has nothing to do with this black that wears off because it's been holstered. You can see there's wear on the slide on both sides from the holsters hitting it. So, why is it an adventure? What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is I've never done this before, and I really hate sending it out and leaving it in the hands of the U.S. mail or whatever. We'll go through here and just take a look at the pistol. I don't see anything wrong with the slide, except some of the springs probably should be changed. There's no cracks in it that are obvious to me, but they'll check it out, maybe through a different set of eyes. Because they're pros and I'm not, they'll find something that might be an issue and hopefully replace it. The barrel, as I said, I've shot a ridiculous amount of rounds through this thing, and the barrel on the feed ramp, I don't know, well, you can see that it does show wear, which is normal, but there's a little groove here. You can see that's worn in, and at least it feels to me like that's actually a wear mark. It's not just because it's dirty. It feels a little rough. So that got me thinking that, hey, you can see that's a nice clean barrel, but you slam all kinds of shit through it, and something's bound to wear out eventually. So maybe it's time to think about having these guys inspect this barrel and possibly replace it. So what I want to do is have a series of videos detailing my experience with having my Glock 21 refurbished. I'd really like to hear from anybody that's had their Glock refurbished through the factory, and take it one step at a time and detail the process so you can do it for yours as well. There's a couple of issues that I've heard. The state I live in is ridiculous. So there's some. These are the older generation magazines. They have 13 rounds, so they're high capacity magazines. that came with the gun. My understanding is if you ship this back to Glock with the gun, they'll of course inspect all your magazines too as part of this deal and change all the springs, rebuild them, etc. as needed. Except my understanding, I could be wrong, I'd really like to know if I am wrong, is if I send this back, they might not ship it back to me if they find something wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with my magazines, but they won't ship it back because the state I live in, Massachusetts, has a 10-round maximum. You tell me how that makes fucking sense. But anyway, so Glock actually might not send that back to me. They'll send me a new magazine, but it'll only be 10 rounds. These things are expensive. I can't legally buy them in Massachusetts brand new, so I want to keep that. So this will not be going back to Glock. I'm not going to send it back. They also just replaced the sights. Their Glock sights are just plastic. And but I've put on Trijicon night sights, but really nice. Not so much for night shooting, I just think you can see them really well. Actually, I wouldn't do it again. I think it's a waste of money, personally. And so I'll detail the process. I have an option to send it through UPS myself, but I think I'm going to be a total pussy and get my local gun shop to do it for me. To avoid any hassles. I'm a little bit concerned about shipping a gun through the mail and getting it back and not having a hassle. I really don't need to deal with any bullshit. So we'll detail the process and we'll see how it goes, and I will keep you posted in a series of videos, and hopefully it'll be useful for you to figure out how to do this and to be able to do it yourself. Thanks for watching.